Hey Ravens fans, we have a lot to discuss, and one of them is a friendly firefight between two of Baltimore's biggest stars, Lamar Jackson and Marlon Humphrey, and trust me, this is an interesting one. Before we dive into today's exclusive story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest Ravens updates. So after the Ravens' close 28-25 win over the Dallas Cowboys, things were going great. We got our first win of the season, but not everyone was in full celebration mode, especially Lamar. While some of the guys were enjoying the win, Marlon Humphrey decided to go on Instagram Live during the team's flight home. Well, Lamar wasn't exactly happy about it. Lamar walked up to Marlon during the live stream and said, "We got the lip sync, keep piling it on. You shouldn't even be live right now. We gotta get it right." You could feel Lamar's competitive fire in that moment. He's not going to let a single win get in their way. He's already thinking about the next game. Of course, Marlon didn't let it go without addressing the issue himself. He spoke about the moment on his Punchline podcast, and you know Marlon, he always brings a little humor to everything. He joked, "I think I have quarterback issues." It's never a good situation, really. But then he got real, explaining that Lamar's reaction is just part of his relentless competitive spirit. He wants to win the big one, or he's really not going to be very happy, Humphrey said. "I mean, this is a guy who's pushing himself hard for excellence, and I like that. Lamar's my guy." That's what you love to see from your leader, right? Lamar isn't settling for a single win, he's focused on the big picture and wants his teammates to be on the same page. And honestly, can you blame him? The Ravens are 1-2 right now, and the road ahead is brutal. We've got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills coming up next, and they're coming to town with a perfect 3-0 record. The Bills have been absolutely dominant, blowing teams out of the water like it's nothing. Just look at their 47-10 win over Jacksonville on Monday Night Football. After Buffalo, it doesn't get any easier. We're looking at a divisional showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals and then some tough games against the Washington Commanders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, both 2-1. So yeah, Lamar's intensity? That's exactly what this team needs right now. The Ravens have some serious ground to make up if we're going to catch up to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still undefeated in the AFC North. These next few games are going to be critical, and the last thing Lamar wants is any distractions. He wants to keep his focus where it needs to be, on racking up those wins. Alright, Ravens fans, what do you think? Was Lamar being a little too hard on Marlon, or do you love seeing this level of intensity from your QB1? Another topic today is one that may surprise you. Mark Andrews, one of our longtime stars, is starting to pop up in NFL trade rumors. That's right, there are rumors that Baltimore may actually be considering moving on from our Pro Bowl tight end. Let's break it down. After the Ravens finally secured their first win of the season against the Dallas Cowboys in Week 3, winning 28-25, all eyes are on how the team will develop from here. With the trade deadline approaching in a few weeks, there's been speculation about what moves the Ravens might make. Historically, the Ravens front office has not been shy when it comes to pulling the trigger on trades, especially when they see a chance to get stronger or free up cap space. Now, here's where things get interesting. Mark Andrews, one of Lamar Jackson's favorite targets for years, could be a name on the trading block. Crazy, right? Isaiah likely has been getting more reps, and some analysts are suggesting that Andrews may be expendable because of it. One rumor even has the Indianapolis Colts as a potential landing spot for him. Atos Sports' Destin Adams floated the idea that the Colts should call the Ravens about a trade for Andrews. His reasoning? The Colts have a promising young QB in Anthony Richardson, and adding a veteran like Andrews could be a game-changer for them. Plus, Andrews has a $16.9 million cap hit this year and next, which could be a big number for Baltimore to keep on the books. So far this season, Andrews hasn't had the impact we're used to seeing. Through 3 games, he's only caught 6 passes for 65 yards, a far cry from his 2021 numbers, when he racked up 1,361 yards and 9 touchdowns. Adams suggests the Ravens could still get decent trade value for Andrews, but the longer they wait, the less they could demand in a trade. From a financial standpoint, moving Andrews could make sense. The Ravens could be looking to clear cap space, especially with younger players stepping up. And for the Colts, taking on that salary could be easier with Richardson still on his rookie contract. A possible trade package? Adam speculates it could be a third-round pick and a few additional pieces. Of course, this is pure speculation here. There have been no official reports that the Ravens are trading Andrews, and it's important to remember that he's still a key part of our offense when fully healthy. But you know how things go in the NFL. When rumors like this start circulating, they tend to gain traction, especially with the trade deadline approaching. So what do you think, Ravens fans? Would you be open to seeing the Ravens trade Mark Andrews, or do you think he's too important to let go? Could Isaiah likely fill those shoes if we leave Andrews out? Now let's talk about a familiar face returning to Baltimore. Yannick Ngakoue is back. That's right, the Ravens brought him back to the team to add even more depth to an already impressive pass rush. Let's break it down. For those who remember, Ngakoue had a brief stint with the Ravens in 2020 after being traded from the Vikings. He played 9 games for us, recording 3 sacks, 11 tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. While his time in Baltimore was short, he made an impression with his ability to disrupt quarterbacks. Since then, he's bounced around the league, playing for teams like the Raiders and Bears, and now, at 29, he's back with the team where he had a brief but solid run. Ngakoue's numbers speak for themselves. He has a total of 69 career sacks across 6 different teams. His best seasons came with the Minnesota Vikings in 2017, when he racked up 12 sacks, and with the Las Vegas Raiders in 2021, when he had 10 sacks. Last season with the Chicago Bears, he played in 13 games, starting all of them, and added 4 sacks and 22 tackles to his stat sheet. Bringing him back is a great move for the Ravens, especially since the team's pass rush has been solid, but there's still room for improvement. We currently rank 9th in the NFL in sacks with 10. Players like Kyle Van Noy have been standouts, with back-to-back games where he's had multiple sacks, and Odafoa had a monster week too, recording 2.5 sacks. But as head coach John Harbaugh said earlier this week, there's still work to be done, especially when it comes to closing out games in the fourth quarter. We're rushing the passer well, Harbaugh said Monday, but we can be a little bit more consistent in terms of our running lines, and some of our play calling and things like that. Harbaugh is right, there's always room to tighten things up, especially against the high-powered offenses we'll face later in the season. Ngakoue's return gives the Ravens even more flexibility on defense. His experience, combined with his knowledge of the system from his time here in 2020, means he can step in and contribute right away. While he's starting on the practice squad, don't be surprised if you see him getting reps in key moments as the season progresses, especially if the pass rush starts to show signs of inconsistency. To make room for Ngakoue, the Ravens released outside linebacker Joe Evans from the practice squad. It's always tough to see a player go, but this move shows the Ravens are serious about solidifying their pass rush and making sure they have all the pieces in place to make a deep run this season. Alright, Ravens fans, it's your turn. What do you think about bringing back Ngakoue? Do you think he'll have a big impact on the passing game, or do you see this as more of a depth change? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and before you go, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go Ravens!